to this hour session in relation to 350 plus careers, one NHS, your future, with me. My name is Leon Pietchak and I am a Youth Development Manager for Health Education England, which sits within the NHS and is a key part within the NHS that looks at training our current and future workforce in a variety of career roles, which is what we're going to go through over this next hour. It is a general session in relation to the variety of careers and topics that we're going to discuss over this hour. If you're on in relation to a particular career pathway, we will be covering pathways, but if it's a particular career that you're really interested in, today it's about looking and exploring about all the variety of different opportunities that health and social care has to offer for you as you progress through your educational journey. These are kind of brief headings that I'm going to cover, but we're going to look at the background and context as to why we do these sessions and where the NHS and health and social care come from in relation to recruiting our future workforce and what careers are available for you now and obviously in 10, 15, 20 years time, which is quite obviously a big subject to cover, and we'll be looking at that. And then we'll be looking at the route ways in, the variety of different ways in, depending on your preferred educational route way. There's a variety of ways into the variety of careers on offer. And then we're also going to look at building your profile, because the majority of my work is promoting and encouraging you to look at how you can sell yourselves in relation to whether you're 13, 14, 16, 44, 67. It's how do you sell yourself in relation to that particular future career. So we'll have a little look at that. And then we're going to look at the variety of resources that are available to you. Caroline is going to monitor the chat. So if you have any core questions, please ask. And then we may stop because it's an hour long time listening to me. And obviously I'll do my best to answer those, but it may well be through a number of links as well, because I'm sure there's a variety of you looking at a variety of different careers today. So we will try and fit as many in as possible. And then utilising the NHS job website and then utilising other resources around that to look at how you can build up your continued professional development as you move through your educational pathway. So obviously, we're at a unique time still, 16 months or longer in relation to COVID, and COVID continues. And as you'll know in the news and so forth, more and more people are again being exposed to COVID, and it's a really difficult balancing time for health and social care, in that when restrictions are being lifted within health and social care, we are obviously still following the guidance and the guidelines and still have PPE that we'll be wearing for the next 12 months or longer. And in relation to our health and social care workforce, obviously safety for all is paramount for both our staff and our patients. And with that in mind, we really welcome you as young people to ensure that you still abide by those, follow those rules where you can. I know a lot of people are talking about ditching the mask and so forth, but we really would welcome the opportunity for you to really build on those messages that we have instilled in ourselves over this past year or longer, to really think about how we behave out in our public spaces and how we behave in closed spaces to ensure that COVID doesn't have an opportunity to take hold again. Thank you. So, background in relation to our NHS and health and social care. My job within the Northwest is working with, well, there was 35 organisations or acute trusts or hospitals, but a lot of them are amalgamated or joined together. So that whilst that 35 would reduce to 34 or less, there's still that amount of hospitals in the Northwest that I cover in relation to my work as a youth development manager. And we'll talk about me a bit later and how my journey led to the role that I do now. But there are over 1,000 organisations in England, both from our acute trusts to out in the community, mobile units, and there's a variety of opportunities in health and social care, both in acute hospitals our community settings. Social care is obviously played a massive part and continues to play a massive part within the COVID fight. And then obviously our primary care colleagues in relation to our GP surgeries and our variety of community support teams. And it's a huge, huge organisation. And each employer is in their own right, look after their own business, if you like. So their own hospital would look after their own work experience, their college liaison, their apprenticeships, their T-level placements, anything in relation to an experience. That hospital would have an individual within a particular role under a different title. It might not be work experience coordinator, it could be a learning development manager, it could be a widening participation lead. And these individuals would look to create a menu or an offer for you to access opportunities, because obviously over the last period of time, work experience or in-person experience has been frozen because of obviously one, for your safety and also for the patient's safety, and also to ensure that the hospitals can deliver the best possible patient care and not worry in addition to anybody else that may be exposed to the variety of difficulties or risk assessments needed to ensure that you or me or anybody that goes in to that environment is safe to do so. How big is the NHS? So for me, it's absolutely huge in relation to the Northwest, but in terms of worldwide, we are the biggest, the fifth biggest employer in the world. And whilst that figure may go up and might drop a little bit, we are and have remained for some time, because this slide is somewhat old, the fifth biggest employer. You'll notice there are some key logos above, and we'll talk more about the variety of how we interlink with some of these organisations, because some of those organisations above us demonstrate the same values, behaviours and attitudes as do the ones below us. And we also look to utilise the skills from other sectors to bring those skills and opportunities into our health and social care. So whilst McDonald's sits above us, we often hear young people say, yeah, well, I just worked at McDonald's. Well, for us, that's an absolutely green light to look at you in terms of a team player, an effective communicator, and also that you can work under pressure, because obviously, as you know, the NHS and health and social care is under a lot of pressure now, and it continues to do so for the foreseeable future for a variety of reasons, not just COVID. So you as students obviously are on your journey, and at whatever age you are or whatever year group you're in currently, you are experimenting and you're exploring the variety of different sectors on offer to you. And that means a lot to us, because being given the opportunity to do an hour insight session such as this gives us that audience. For those of you that, like Caroline said, have registered, felt an interest in a particular career routeway, is a really attractive offer for us, because even though this is an hour session, we consider and we feel that we owe you the opportunity to become part of our health and social care support network. And through inspiring you, and we want to attract you to health and social care, we want to recruit you to whatever career you feel best suits you, and what health and careers can sort and help you in health and social care and give you the best possible work-life balance as you move through your career. We will give you plenty of opportunities to train every avenue, and we'll talk about that further in relation to the opportunities in training. And we want to retain you within that health and social care, but also as you progress and you develop and you learn and you train and you show your enthusiasm and your passion for that career and that role, you will have plenty of opportunities to develop. And that comes through support, because one of our biggest aspects is being able to support you at any stage of your pathway towards or within your career as well, because we want you to have the best experience possible. And what we don't want to do is see that that individual makes that decision to become a nurse or become the part of the medicine team or go into pharmacy or go to be a porter or a cleaner and not have the best experience that they felt that they deserve and need in order for us to have that successful workforce. As you will see there, in terms of the NHS turning 100 in 2048, that's really hard to sort of comprehend, but a lot of my work is looking at the variety of careers that have not been created yet, you know, and also the variety of careers that are being automated is also a task in itself, and obviously needs individuals with technical know-how, understanding how technology can support and advance us and not hinder us. You'll notice in those pictures there, you'll see in the bottom right hand corner about that aerodrome cleaning windows. So obviously there's debates in relation to humans cleaning windows over the side of tall buildings when now we have drones that are flying up the buildings, cleaning the windows, and doesn't put human life at risk. But what do those 2, 3, 4 individuals do if they're not cleaning windows? So do they train to become the drone operators? You know, and these are all key questions that we need to ask ourselves as we progress over this period of time. So I'm just going to show you a quick video. Hopefully this is where things always normally go wrong, but it just gives you a key little insight into some future tech really and where health and social care may go. Some things are already here in relation to what this video presents, and some things are coming in the future, and it is a bit sci-fi and a bit scary, but these things will be and are being looked at. And I think it's very important for you to look and consider these things in whatever roles you're looking at. Oh, sorry, I've just someone's just clicked in front of me there. Okay.
What's your future health looks like?
So what do you think? If you could put in the chat box what your thoughts are in relation to watching that video, do you think that the variety of opportunities there in terms of those technical advances are going to help us, or are they going to take away that personal caring approach that a human being can bring to that role? Let us know in the chat box what your thoughts are. And I would say Caroline is monitoring that, and I'm sure she'll let me know some of your thoughts as you put your comments in. But it's a really thought-provoking video for me. As I say, a youth development manager within the NHS, where I didn't even think you could be a youth development manager in health and social care or the NHS, and having that opportunity to explore all these 350 plus different careers. And I was saying to Caroline earlier that even underneath that 350, there are more and more of those roles. And we want to dispel those myths that we're not just about doctors and nurses. And whilst they are key workforce, we have a complete set of individuals that are working in teams to support our doctors and nurses, our infrastructure in terms of our security officers, through our car parking attendants, through to obviously the key people are our cleaners and our estates and facilities individuals and groups and teams that ensure that the hospital is fit for purpose and that the doctors and nurses and all the other medical and non-medical staff can carry out their duties in a safe and an effective manner. And as you'll see there, we're not exactly everything that you will see on television. So you may be here today just after watching Casualty for a couple of years and thought, well, I really like that. Well, when we do a lot of these insight sessions and you get to hear from the specific individuals that work in A&E or is a disability nurse or a mental health nurse or a security guard or a porter or a transport driver, in relation to moving blood from A to B or D, or moving patients through to our paramedics and our ambulance service that has a variety of roles, not just the paramedics. Again, it's about utilizing what you see on television is not everything you would do within that trust or within that health and social organization. And yes, sometimes the job may be boring and you may be waiting for a call. Other times you'll be hectic, it'll be crazy, and you'll feel overwhelmed, stressed, high anxiety, and it takes a special kind of person to operate under those circumstances, to probably go from 0 to 100, depending on the role that you do, and to really be able to cope. And that comes through time, and that comes through training, and that comes through support. Caroline, what have we got in the chat box? I saw some flashing up, so it'd just be good to...
Leon, we haven't got anything at the moment. I just put some in comments, please, so we know you're awake. I'm very surprised we haven't had any comments yet. So please get some comments in. You are enabled. The chat's enabled. I've just gone on and double checked, so it is, and it is. So yeah, I'll let you know if anything comes through, Leon.
No problems. Thank you. Okay, well, we'll move on then. So, as I've alluded to, the 350 careers, one NHS, your future. Well, that's just one logo. And as I've highlighted, we have social care, we have primary care, and we have all the other community settings in which they deliver health and social care. And just at this point, it is important to realise and understand that there are a variety of route ways into health and social care. You don't necessarily need a degree to work in health and social care. Qualifications are extremely important, and I'm hoping that you'll join me this afternoon for the values, behaviours and attitudes session as well. But we will talk briefly about that. But in terms of the variety of individuals that we are looking for, we want to strengthen our workforce and have as diverse workforce as possible. And you may not feel that, you might not be the best with blood. So probably in a particular environment where surgery or within that operating domain or within A&E may not be that best place for you. Therefore, you may look at non-clinical roles that may be better suited to you. And that's what these sessions are all about today, about discovery and just listening and learning and formulating any questions that you have, because at the end of the day, there's all kinds of questions going through your heads currently. You know, do I have the right grades? Will I be able to move forward? And the answer is, whatever grades you obtain, there is a route way into a career in health and social care. And at every pit stop and everything we speak about, there'll be bumps in the road, but we are here to support you through Career Ready and through Health Education England and through the health and social care family, really. So never ever feel that you're alone, and always feel that we are here to support you. So what sort of careers are out there now? Hopefully they're a little bit alive in the chat box, Caroline, because I would like to know why the 40, 50 young people are listening to me this morning. So you are of an age now where you've obviously heard of doctors and nurses, and you may want to be an aspiring doctor or a nurse, and that is fantastic. Have you heard of any of the other professions or careers? And it would be great to see in the chat box. And if you want to go specific and you say, oh, I want to be a physio, I want to be a speech and language therapist, I want to be a podiatrist, I want to be a porter, whatever it may be that's taken an interest, I would love to see that in the chat box. So I'm going to give you a minute, and I'm going to take a gulp of water, and I want to see that chat box full up, please.
Yes, me too. Come on, students. Right, okay, so we've got one. I've heard a lot, but I don't want to be any. So maybe the ones you've heard of, you don't necessarily want to be those. Yeah.
So you don't, right? Okay. So rather than what you don't want to be, what hobbies, interests do you have that may align to a particular profession? Because for me, I've always worked with young people, and I've always worked in sport or employability or giving young people opportunities. So for me, this job aligned beautifully, and you know, in my world, is the best job in the world, because I get opportunity to be passionate and confident and enjoy working with young people, whether it be virtually like this or in person or at events, helping you to discover what is for you. And perfectly as that first comment, if I don't like any of them, that's fine. And if there isn't a particular role that you are interested in, then you know, there's a variety of other opportunities within our sector or other sectors. It's about what's best for you, and we would rather discover that now rather than take you down a pathway to work experience and you not enjoy that.
Yeah, so Shilke, and apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong, has come back and said management she's interested in, or he.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I'll send a number of links through to you, Caroline. You can send that through, because we had our regional director talking about his journey from pharmacy to being our regional director, and the variety of management routes that are available in health and social care are vast. We have a variety of apprenticeships, and it's probably one, in terms of our starting points, in terms of business and admin, is probably our biggest apprenticeship in terms of individuals taking that on, and the amount of individuals that have done that and then maneuvered themselves onto the management programs is vast. And that's a lot of route ways and successful pathways for you. So yeah, great.
Okay, so we've got pathologist.
Okay.
Healthcare assistant, paramedic, pediatrician, another management, psychological profession, medical engineering. So a range there. Yeah,
fantastic. So within all those core specific careers that you've mentioned there, obviously in terms of that healthcare support worker role is key within the nursing function, but not just within the nursing function. It can obviously cover across from social care into primary care and into community settings. And then in relation to the engineering aspects, there's such a variety of biomedical, healthcare science, opportunities, and that is growing and growing, as you saw earlier in that video, the variety of new roles and new jobs being created as a result of technology and gene enhancement and developments in variety of genomics and all the other fantastic professions. There's so many opportunities to progress. For those of you that may be thinking, or from the non-clinical or non-clinical side to the these jobs are available also, you know, in terms of our catering staff. You might be an aspiring chef. We need to utilize a variety of opportunities there to showcase that to young people and people. Domestic services, as I mentioned, in terms of our ensuring that the beds and all the linen and so forth is supported and the infrastructure is upheld. Housekeeping and ensuring that our whole environments are cleaning. In terms of horticultural, you may be interested in looking after the grounds of our facilities. And again, you know, in relation to that management side of things, it's health records, secretarial, reception, you know, all kinds, phone operators, you know, in terms of the variety of roles is so vast. And what we do through these 1 hour sessions is for you just to explore and have an opportunity. And if you've not yet utilized the Health Careers website, I'll put that link in a little bit later, Caroline, so that the young people can take that link away and explore, or if there is a particular role that they have said, which they have said in the chat box, it gives them the entry level requirements. That's the standard, but obviously you may be looking at certain establishments and you would check with the college, university, or the apprenticeship or the T-level, whichever route where you're looking at, to match them up. And very important for us is, what are your hobbies and interests do you have? And, you know, we see a lot of individuals that have musical skills. We have individuals with art skills, craft, pottery skills, for particularly good with their hands, are able to look at dentistry and look at the variety of roles in dentistry in terms of how your dexterity, in terms of your hand movements and so forth. Podiatry, looking at obviously how we walk and how we can help people walk better and utilizing those skills for better foot care. Yoga and variety of health and fitness opportunities that are available in health and social care in terms of those roles are vast, because if we can help to keep you healthy, then you won't need to visit the hospital, you won't need to visit the services, and that puts less stress on the system and keeps our communities and our population a lot healthier before you need any of these services. And these are all key roles that you can all tap into regardless of whatever role you move forward with. We recently ran a session and I had a number of young people say, well, we're just interested in being paramedics. And we thought the session, we just wanted to hear about what a paramedic does. And there was a session on what a paramedic does, but there was, you know, another 18 other opportunities to hear from 18 other professionals that interlink some way within that paramedic's journey or that patient's journey. And that for us is invaluable to give to you, because you can demonstrate on your personal statements, your application forms, your additional information forms, your CVs, which we don't necessarily use in the NHS, but it can be utilised and take that information to put into your personal statements or UCAS forms or whatever pathway you're looking at, or whether you're applying for that apprenticeship, to demonstrate your learning, because that's what's key for this hour. What have you learned from this hour? It's not about, Caroline, can I have the certificate to say that I've attended? That's great, but what have you taken away from this hour? And that's what we're really pushing forward with, because people don't sell themselves as well as they should do. And we really want you to really think about how you are selling yourself. Do you enjoy using practical skills? You know, have you had an opportunity in school or college to experiment or look at any of these other aspects? Because all these variety of careers that are available in health and social care utilize practical skills. So do you consider yourself to be a practical person? Do you want to work with children? Have you looked at working with children and young people in a variety of ways, not just from a youth worker perspective, but both from a clinical and non-clinical perspective, looking at the variety of roles that are available to you working with children and young people. Or it may be that you just want to work with adults, and that's fine. And that's about that discovery journey and looking at what's best for your skill set and your interests. Do you enjoy science? You know, we not only look at science in terms of those 3 core subjects, but also the opportunities. Do you do art? Do you do languages? Do you do history? Do you do physical education? That all builds you up as that person that can demonstrate a variety of transferable skills, and that is the individuals that we're looking for, that you can be as diverse as possible and offer as many different traits as possible so that you are the best possible person for that job. Routes in. So at your stage in relation to your educational journey, there's a variety of ways in, and there's also opportunities to gain further experience. And insight day or insight sessions such as this, or insight days, or work experience, or what's been termed as virtual work experience, where you would listen and learn from a variety of professionals and different employers to give you an insight, are available. And in terms of blended learning and opportunities to develop yourselves through online learning is vast over the last 12 months and can be quite overwhelming, because there are so many organizations and so many resources for you to access in developing yourselves. And what again it is, it's not about saying, well, I did that certificate. It is, again, I took this from doing that session, or I took that learning from that event, and that's how I'm utilizing those skills, behaviors and attitudes to move forward towards my next course or opportunity to take an apprenticeship, or moving into university, and then from university into a part-time job, or in a part-time job, or whatever, whether it be volunteering. It's about demonstrating your worth. And we do that through our employability programs. We have work experience, not in person currently, but again, I can provide Caroline with a list of variety of alternatives to work experience that would give you a number of hours and a variety of different ways to learn about health and social care. If you're not familiar with T-levels yet, it came into place last year in a variety number of colleges, but for health and social care and science, the majority of colleges have come online this year, and a T-level is equivalent to 3 A-levels. And it's in relation to giving 80% time in college and 20% time with an employer. So what we would look to do there in that time is to give you those vital opportunities to explore the variety of roles on offer. So it may be that you are interested in being a healthcare assistant or support worker, but they would give you an insight into nursing, they would give you an insight into non-clinical, they'll give you an insight into paramedics, they'll give you an insight into a lot of opportunities to demonstrate how the roles interlink. And it may be something else that you haven't thought of and you just thought, yeah, I like to look at that, because the majority of professionals that you hear on these insight talks they started at one job but have moved through a variety of roles to where they are today, and that may be over a 12-month period or 20-year period. And it's really interesting how you get that opportunity to move around in health and social care, which gives that variety and gives you the opportunities to develop yourself in a vast array of both qualifications, both training and also careers as well. Supported internships are for those individuals that consider themselves to have a disability. We do a lot of work in this realm, and we look at how we can support that individual to succeed in health and social care, whether it's an individual that would be maybe blind, who's trained to be a physiotherapist, or an individual that is deaf and utilising their skills in a different way or in a different environment to utilise their skills in whatever they feel they can do. We will look to achieve that opportunity within that job role and within that environment to enable them to succeed. I was talking to Caroline earlier in relation to return to practice. We have a number of individuals returning back to health and social care after going to different sectors, but due to obviously COVID or redundancy or change in heart, they've decided to return back to the health and social care workforce and develop themselves and re-enter to build up a workforce. We have a variety of traineeships, and we also have obviously in terms of Kickstart, which is the government initiative to COVID in relation to youth unemployment, where opportunities for a 6-month placement paid, and then within that 6 months you have a time period there to demonstrate your worth, excel your learning, and really demonstrate how beneficial you could be for that trust or organisation, and more and more opportunities would come from that. Our biggest scheme of work, again, alongside that, is our apprenticeships. We have a vast array of apprenticeships, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. So who can apply for apprenticeships? Anyone over 16, not in full-time education, or existing staff. We have a variety of staff that are on a variety of different levels of apprenticeships. And again, there's a vast array of opportunities led through the employer to give you those opportunities in the variety of roles that you've mentioned there. So if you've not considered an apprenticeship, I would encourage you to look on the Health Careers website and look at the variety of links that we send through to explore how apprenticeships can be used in health and social care for your roles as well, alongside obviously the traditional routes.
Leon, can I just ask there with the apprenticeship? So you might even go on to say it. I was just going to ask, do you do the degree apprenticeships, and what kind of what areas are those in? But you're going to come on to that.
Yes, yeah, no, it's such a vast array, Caroline. I say with the hour, you can do an hour on apprenticeships. On apprenticeships. And for today, as I say, we are doing a vast array of degree apprenticeships, and they're taking hold, and more young people are looking at the degree apprenticeships. And that, you know, obviously they're finding that as a route way. And we have, as I say, it's whatever suits the learner. And as I say, it's just there really to explore, because sometimes I talk to 17, 18-year-olds and they've not yet even considered apprenticeships, or there is the myth that apprenticeships aren't the better route or a preferred route by parents, carers and guardians. And what I would implore you to do with parent, carers and guardians and young people is to explore all the routes, to really expand yourself to say, right, which is best for me in my circumstances, and as I am able to flourish, whether it be in that degree apprenticeship, university role, and whatever route way you choose. The levels, as you said there, Caroline, in terms of we have a variety of levels, and we have, you know, obviously staff taking on those advanced higher degrees, as well as the intermediate level 2s in terms of, as I mentioned, our business and admin is one of our most popular apprenticeships. Our nursing degree apprenticeship is very, very popular, and the variety of other apprenticeships are obviously very successful. But again, like with everything in life, not looking for an easy option, it's not an easy option, because people will think that it's far more practical. Well, it's very practical, but it is also has academic elements to it, and you need to have that balance. But it's what we talk about in terms of being able to support you and develop you and help you. And if you have an appetite to learn at whatever level you are, you might not be as academic as others, and that's fine. You know, I went to university when I was 23. I never thought about going to university until I was 23. I came out of school with 1 GCSE. I utilised opportunities from school to college to build myself up through my hobbies and interests in obtaining a vast array of sports and fitness qualifications that enabled me to sell myself on my application form. And it wasn't academic in any way, shape or form. And yes, you know, I was declined from a number of universities, but I was successful in one and showcased and became the student of the course, and developed and came out with a degree in honours, and I've moved on through my career using that pathway. But again, there may be individuals that feel that university isn't for them, and they may want to use that apprenticeship opportunity or the other ways in, which is perfectly fine. Keeping you up to date, we'll give you these links, but there is a variety of links available for you to explore more about degree apprenticeships and apprenticeships. We have obviously all this information on our health careers website. In primary schools and secondary schools, we introduce you to health and social care through what's called the Step into the NHS, which is a website. And then obviously in terms of anything to do with apprenticeships, you can find an apprenticeship or amazing apprenticeships or apprenticeship guide through those links there, but I'll provide them to Caroline if you're having an after pack. I'm not sure, but most likely you will do. And there's far more, as I've said, there are so many opportunities and support mechanisms for you in whatever route way you choose. This was just an example of an apprenticeship opportunity or pathway. How do you get experience? Because what age are our young people? What years are our young people, Caroline?
Most will be year 12, just finished year 12, so
yeah.
17.
Yeah, so you've already quite got a lot of life experience, and you might not be thinking, you might be looking at me and go, well, Leon's 45, he's got a lot more experience than me. Well, that's fine. But at 17, you have a vast array of experience already. If you look at your schooling life, look at your primary school, look at your secondary school, look at your start of college or whatever route where you are, and also look at your family life, look what you're doing in the community. There's all these aspects that can be sold and really sell yourself. I had a mentee that was looking to do healthcare science, and she felt that she didn't have any transferable skills. And I noted in one of her emails to me that she had a rescue cat, and we used her rescue cat to demonstrate the values, behaviours and attitudes of how caring an individual she was, in that she had obtained this rescue cat, and how she met every one of the values through having a rescue cat, having pet care. And she got 2 interviews and was offered both jobs. And now she's a year on, and she's now looking to go to university to do a biomedical degree, following a year in industry, and will also be on the bank of those organisations, as they know that she's going to be a very successful employee because she has the values, behaviours and attitudes, but also can demonstrate those skills both academically and in person. Building your profile. Of course, you've got the amazing Career Ready, and you've got the mentoring and the support and everything that Career Ready brings to you, enabling you to support. And what we find is that young people often ask for support at the end of their journeys. We want you to constantly be supported, whether it be through Career Ready or ourselves, to enable you to keep in touch with us and be supported, and enable you to discover, that opportunity. If you didn't think that health and social care is for you, that is fine. But what we don't want to do is get you into a course and 6-8 months down the line and you feel that you weren't that well informed and you felt that you were on the wrong course, or you've actually done the wrong course and it doesn't match up to the career pathway. So these are all considerations that you need to be thinking about in year 12 and year 13 to really think about what route way is best for that career pathway. And remember, once you're in that career pathway, it can branch off in any way. And these are just a sample of organisations that I've worked for over the last 16 months that can all support you and have a vast array of insight sessions, virtual work experience, ways to get volunteering even in COVID times, National Citizenship Service. Your local health and social care careers hubs have a vast array of support available to you, whether you're in Greater Manchester, whether you're in Lancs and South Cumbria, whether you're outside of the Northwest today. I'm not sure whether this is national, but if so, you could look at your Uni Connect programs in the local area to utilise the support alongside Career Ready and the variety of other opportunities that you have. The Health Careers website, in terms of opportunities there is a quiz on there. So like the individual said, I don't like any. Well, that quiz will tease through a variety of questions, and it will look to present you with possible careers that match your hobbies, interests and thoughts. And it's a really good way as a starting point, because outside of those suggestions, you may have not thought of that. When I did careers talks when I'm back in school times, back in the ancient times, I came out to be a stonemason, and I still to this day don't know, but I ended up doing our pavement outside our house last year and had quite a knack for it. But I didn't know at 12 when I was suggested that I could be a stonemason whether that was an actual career for me, as I wanted to be a cinema projectionist. But again, because I loved films, but when I went on to do work experience, I realized it's very antisocial hours. You never really got to see the end of the film because you had to jump between films because they all started at different times. And it wasn't really people facing. So for me, it wasn't the career. So, you know, we find our ways in different ways, don't we? So explore and don't be afraid to ask questions. And that's what this hour is about and why I'm zooming through, because I'm hoping that we will have a number of questions towards the end of this session. In terms of, again, find your health career tool, there's what I just mentioned there about that opportunity to find in terms of that quiz, and it takes 5 minutes. Course finder, if you're not sure what courses are available, you can look on the Health Careers website, type in the course and obviously put through the criteria, and it will give you relevant courses that and then you could look at those particular courses or go on the apprenticeship websites to look at what their requirements are in terms of academic needs. And then also in terms of course finders, if you were looking at allied health professions, in terms of that gives you a real insight in the I See the Difference website, and it, as you can see there, it plots exactly where all the courses are, because they are quite specialist and specific courses. Your likes of your art therapy, or you know, speech and language therapist or podiatrist, you know, they're all over the country really in relation to opportunities. So have a little look at those course opportunities and those course finders. I've talked throughout the last 15 minutes about the importance about demonstrating your confidence, your passion. You're here. Hopefully the numbers haven't dropped in the last 15 minutes and I haven't bored you, and that you are still interested. And that tells us that through that process, you're on the first ladders to being part of the health and social care family. And everything we do 365 days a year, 24/7, revolves around the value-based recruitment model in terms of our 6 core NHS constitutional values. And again, this afternoon, I'll talk in depth around how you can utilize these values and demonstrate at 17 how you meet these values. But in terms of working together for patients, compassion, respect and dignity, commitment to quality of care, improving lives, and my son's favorite, who's 8, everyone counts. You know, and it's about utilizing that and demonstrating that as you move forward in whatever pathway you choose. Again, if you wanted to find out a bit more about those particular jobs that you mentioned earlier or careers, you can register on the NHS Jobs website. You might not be ready to take a job with the NHS Jobs website, but it would be useful for you to explore the variety of roles that link to the particular role that you're interested in. And again, it gives you hints and ideas and shows you the variety of needs in the job description or job specification. And you may want to gear yourself or get volunteering in a particular field. It doesn't have to be in health and social care to build your skill level. From that side, in terms of, we'll give you the links for the NHS Jobs website. And then if you want to find out more about what I've been talking about over the last 51 hours, is to visit our fantastic resources at the Health Careers website. You've also got obviously opportunities there to email them through the advice at healthcareers.nhs.uk, or you can, as I say, call in relation to that number there, which is a free phone, and it would give you an opportunity to really talk about the particular role. Yes, we can give you the links through, but probably I will give them all to Caroline. And Caroline, do you normally send out an after pack, or can you email out a pack?
What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put my email in the chat box, and then if you want these links, you can just email me and I will just ping them across to you. I think is the easiest way to do it.
No problem.
Because I don't have direct access to all your email addresses.
Right, okay.
So it's probably easier just to do that. So I'm going to put mine in.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So we have 7 minutes left. I've thrown an absolute mountain of information at you all. Again, as I say, this was an insight session, very brief, touching on a variety of careers and opportunities and looking at the breadth of opportunities in health and social care. So I'm understanding that if you were here to think about that particular role in nursing, and that's fine, and we can help you through Career Ready to access more and more opportunities. I don't know, are the majority of young people from the Northwest, Caroline, or?
No, this is national. Okay. This is national. Yeah.
National, yeah. So there's a variety of opportunities in your local area, and again, the Career Ready team will know those links. From my perspective in the Northwest, we run a monthly webinar, and that monthly webinar enables us to keep in contact with any young person, parent, carer or guardian or mentor in the Northwest, and they come on those monthly webinars, build up their continued professional development, and then through that would get more opportunities through Career Ready or whichever organisation can offer you what you need going forward. Are there any other questions? Do we have any questions, Caroline? Sorry.
Not at the moment, but we'll just give them sort of a few minutes if anybody's got any questions at all.
No problem.
Yeah, my question is, and this really comes from, I've got a group of students this year who quite uniquely, all of them want to go into medicine. Well, the majority of them of this medical group want to go into medicine, and they're very concerned and perhaps worried about the fact that they haven't had any work experience face to face, and they are sort of worried that that might disadvantage them on their application forms. So I think I know the answer to that, but I think it'd be useful to share your view on that.
They're not alone. Every young person is really concerned about not having work experience on their application forms. We have been working with UCAS. We work with all our apprenticeship providers. We work with all the medical schools across England. And the other areas will also be following suit in relation to that. The answer is we are aware, obviously, COVID has frozen work experience. And what those medical schools and so forth are making adjustments and accounting for that within your applications. What I would say to you is, have you explored the variety of alternatives that could support your medical students in terms of the Brighton and Sussex virtual work experience programme? Are your students aware of that? And I can give you that link, which is X amount of numbers of hours, Caroline, which is recognised by the medical schools. We also have GP Observe, which is a different way to obtain experience virtually. But again, it's about what they've learned from that process and can demonstrate that in their application. What podcasts are you listening to? What other insight sessions are you listening into? And how can you build that into your UCAS application forms, or, you know, whatever application forms are moving forward, or your personal statement? Don't worry at this point in time in relation to work experience, because the medical schools are aware that you can't get it in health and social care. If you have voluntary opportunities or part-time jobs, then, you know, sell yourself through that, the transferable skills. And that's what they're looking for. You know, I have a lot of young people say, well, I'm a part-time waitress or waiter, or I work and do a variety of jobs in a news agent, or do that. They're fantastic skills. Or I help my parents build a website, or I've helped a youth group do something, or I've given a social mobility program, or I've delivered a survey. So the answer is not to worry about that. It's about just putting in what you've done to date and really looking at what you've done, really proofread and really sell yourself that way. And don't worry about the in-person work experience.
Yeah, that's really useful. And if, we could have all those sort of links for those kind of things, that would be really good. So question from Katie. Are there any apprenticeship opportunities for paramedics, or do you have to go to university?
There are plenty of apprenticeships, Katie, depending on where you are. For example, because I'm a little bit biased because I sit in the Northwest, we would look to the Northwest Ambulance Service. They have a variety of apprenticeship opportunities. And then also, obviously, there is the degree route as well. What I would look at is look at your local ambulance service. Go onto their website and look under their section in relation to courses and training. Speak to your college in relation to what links they have with that particular provider, and then look at how you can maneuver that pathway. And if it is, whether it's the university route or apprenticeship route or degree apprenticeship, depending on the role that you want to play within that paramedic role or another role. Katie, just give us a hands up or a thank you, just to say that okay, good, brilliant. Definitely, yeah. We are here for you, and it's about perseverance. You might not hear from them straight away because a lot of everybody is under pressure in health and social care, but perseverance pays off. And look at the variety of ways. If you get one email address and you just go hammer one email address and you're not getting anywhere, go a different way. We've got a hand up, so you have to go through the chat box, I'm afraid. Maybe.
Who was it who had their hand up?
Oh, sorry, it's gone.
Okay, just use the chat. I was going to say I could unmute, but I don't know who it was.
Where are you? Who was it? If they're brave enough.
Yeah.
Bahavi, is it Bahavi? Bahavi?
Oh, yes, sorry, my chat box isn't working.
Oh, Bahavi, okay, no worries. Go on, it's lovely to hear a voice. Thank you. Love it. Thank you. Talking to yourself for an hour is hard work, you know.
Yeah, I was like, I think the links would be helpful. So could you like maybe read out your email because I can't see it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So
yeah.
I'll read it out for you. So it's
okay.
Caroline, CAROLINE Emery, EMERY @ career-ready, all one word, all together, .org.uk.
Okay, yeah, great.
Have you got that?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, fantastic.
Brilliant, Bahavi, and thank you for listening for the past hour. What role are you interested in, or what career are you interested in? Go on, unmute yourself again and tell me.
I'm not too sure, to be honest, but when you said about management, I didn't really know that you could even do that in NHS, so probably explore that more.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there's a vast array, and I'll say NHS, health and social care, there's so many management structures and so many roles within that, you know, and the pathways is the same as medical, if you like, or clinical or non-clinical. And as I say, a lot of people don't realise with these 350 different careers, you can look at, you know, it's just, it's a huge country, the NHS, isn't it? You know, so. You can do anything, and that's why it's a little bit of a difficult role for me, because trying to learn 350 plus careers is a bit of a task. Thank you.
Maybe we could test you on them all, Leon.
maybe the 15 core overarching, but again, they are very medical orientated, the 15, and like Viva says there, you know, management doesn't feature. It is often very medical focused. So we need to showcase a lot of the non-medical roles more, and especially our estates and facilities and our management structures within that. There's lots of opportunities, and we have a lot of aging workforce in those careers. So the likes of management, you would be fast tracked. So lots of opportunity.
Yeah, that sounds an amazing opportunity then. Have we got any other questions then, just before we wrap up? We'll just have a look in the chat box then. But so Leon, I just want to say, so if the students haven't signed up for this afternoon one and you are able to attend, the same way you signed up for this one on Eventbrite, you can sign up and join. And just very briefly, do you just want to say why the afternoon one is so important, Leon?
Well, it just underpins everything that I've spoken about in the last hour. So it really looks at values, behaviours and attitudes and what makes you, you. Because at 17, do you know what makes you? At 45, do you know what makes you? And it's really looking at how you can apply what you've learned to date and putting that into your personal statements. So that key aspect around asking about medical school or any aspect, it's about how we build up your personal statement that hour. So in a nutshell, it's really, really important because everything we do is about values-based recruitment. So what are your values, what are your behaviours, and what are your attitudes are key alongside your qualifications. Thank you, Caroline.
So yeah, again, you've got my email address. If you can't remember how you signed up or there's any issues, just email me and I can send you the direct link for the meeting this afternoon at 2 p.m. It really will help you with applying for anything within healthcare, your application forms that you will be doing really soon at the start of year 13. So Leon, thank you very much for the session. It's been really, really informative. It genuinely has. I've learned lots actually that I can use then to help students going forward, and I'll certainly use all the links. They'll be really useful for me as well. And I just think, yeah, some of the students don't seem to have had access to the chat box, so that might be some reason as well why we perhaps haven't had lots and lots of comments at some points. But thank you very, very much. And I look forward to this afternoon's session. Thank you, students, for sticking with us on this hot day and taking part. And I hopefully see you in the session this afternoon. So students, you're free to leave now and have a good day, and hopefully see you this afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
I'm going to stop recording now. Stop.